Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Just not my day, hey?
Hello, just a really quick one. Well, not really, but I completely didn't vlog the whole time we were on the road trip just because it was like so full on. So just to put into context the video that just went on, we basically drove from the Abel Tasman to Murchison, and then spent the night there in just like a camper van site. I think we paid like $10 or something each, but we didn't really have that much choice. So basically our strategy with camper van sites was, if we either could park just like on the side of the street, perfect, because it's free. Like for example in Wanaka we did that, we just parked like on the side streets and then actually went into a hostel, sneaky, and just use their facilities there, which, I mean, you gotta be a little bit of a grafter, don't ya? So we went through Murchison. The next day we then drove on the west coast, because we were going to Franz Josef, down to Westport, stopped at a couple of beaches, which is really cool. There's so many lookout areas, lookout points that you can go and stop for a little bit of a break along the way. And then we went to Pancake Rocks, and where else? Yeah, and a couple of beaches. Yeah, so after a day of driving on the west coast, we finally got to Franz Josef. We got there late in the evening, and we actually sneaked into one of the camper sites, and didn't pay. I hope they never catch us. I'm not going to say which one it is, but there's only a handful because Franz Josef is like the tiniest place ever. So you'll probably find out which one it is, but it's quite a luxurious one. But because we arrived at like 11 p.m. at night, we were literally just like, do you know what, fuck it, next day we'll just get up pretty early, and then yeah, but unfortunately the weather wasn't very good. It was actually really cloudy and just overcast, so we couldn't go and do the heli hike nor the scenic flights. So what we decided was, after waiting like the whole morning, which was actually my fault, we probably should have just gone straight away, but I was wishful thinking that it was gonna clear out. It didn't. But the Franz Josef Glacier guys were really kind enough to give us a free 1 hour session in the hot pools, which was really lush, and you'll see in the clip just like a short video there. So yeah, so instead we decided to drive to Wanaka, which was a 4.5 hour drive down, for like a night, just because the weather wasn't going to clear up until, yeah, like a couple of days later. So we made that decision and drove to Wanaka, which was really cool. We drove through Haast Pass, which is absolutely stunning. We timed it quite well, like there was a sunset and it was a full moon as well, and you could see like the mountains and stuff, and it was gorgeous. But driving at night was, yeah, terrifying, because those roads just seem to get windier and tighter. That's mental. But then yeah, so we got to Wanaka, which is this cute little like hippie town. What did we do there? In Wanaka we went to the lavender farm, basically just for the Insta. And then also, oh, we did a sunrise hike at Royce Peak, which was incredible. Like, such a struggle to have to get up at like 2 a.m. to do it, but it was amazing. Like, literally you're walking and you're guided by like stars and the moon, because it's like pitch black, and it helps so much because you don't see how much higher you have to go. So that was really cool. And yeah, so we didn't start the hike until about 3 a.m. And we got there just by sunrise, which was like 6:30 I think, which I think is perfect, because if you get there even a little bit earlier, it's freezing right at the top, so you just be waiting there like standing still. So I think that was really good, and that was a really good pace as well. It wasn't like rushed or anything. Yeah, and then we didn't get back down until about 9 a.m. I think. We flew the drone, lol. We really shouldn't have, because there was literally, we didn't realize this, to be fair. I didn't realize that it was like a helicopter flight area, but we just did it anyway, and it was so cringe because everyone was literally like looking at us, like, because obviously there's a queue to take a picture in that little famous peak area. I'll insert a picture there. But yeah, so we got down at around 9 a.m. and then we literally just crashed in the car park. We just put the beds up in the camper and just literally slept until like 12. Probably the best sleep of my life. I was so tired. And then we got some brunch, and Wanaka is actually a really cute, like, sort of, it reminds me a little bit of like Byron, but also like Queenstown. It's basically a more relaxed version of Queenstown, but still with like the mountains all around you, and yeah, it's really gorgeous. Those are like nice little hip brunch places, cafes, basic central, but yeah, it was really awesome. Yeah, and then we headed off back to Franz Josef. because the next day the weather looked amazing, and really fortunate that we managed to go on a scenic flight in the morning. So that was a helicopter flight to the top of Franz Josef Glacier, which by the way was like all brown from the Australian bushfires, which is crazy, but it was still really magical. I can imagine that in winter it'd be like super nice, but it was also really lush, like being there. And then we also flew over Fox Glacier. Unfortunately we couldn't do Mount Cook because it was too, like the conditions weren't the best, but it was the best thing ever. It was my first time in a helicopter and literally it was just so magical. I couldn't stop smiling. Maddie was really funny because she's scared of flights, but literally she was like, she wanted to do like all the scenic flights in New Zealand, but she was like holding on to this old man next to her and then like literally squeezing my hand to death, but it was really lush and loved it. And then in the afternoon we got on the heli hike, so the 1 p.m. slot I believe, which is around like a 3-hour trip. You do like 2 hours hiking, they gear you up, you wear all like the, what is it called, crampons, so like the shoes with the spikes at the bottom, and then yeah, and you hike for around 2 hours. You so that was like our second helicopter ride of the day. Watch out, bougie central, calm down. It's so funny, but I just don't know why, like I think I love helicopters because I just love that scene in 50 Shades of Grey where he like surprises her and picks her up at the rooftop of like his hotel in a helicopter. That would be like my ideal date. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, it was amazing. Like to be hiking on ice, hike is basically a walk, but it was pretty cool because our guide was literally like hacking through the ice to create like steps for us. We were going through like tiny holes, drinking the glacier water. We even saw like a little avalanche, and it's actually cool because you can hear the ice moving because obviously it's so quiet there, and yeah, it's just like probably like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And she did say that like in 5 years time that area where we probably wouldn't be able to access that anymore. So yeah, it's insane. I really wish I had like my family there because I think like my parents and my brother would absolutely love it. It's just such an awesome adventure. That sounds really lame, but it's so fucking true. So yeah, so I'll get on with the videos then, so you can have a little look. This is my favourite part of the video just because it gives me like nostalgia, because yeah, Franz Josef, it was definitely worth like driving an extra 5 or like 4.5 to 5 hours back from Wanaka up to Franz Josef and then back down again to, yeah, it was like an extra 8 hours in total to be honest, and then back down again to get to Queenstown because Wanaka was only like 1 hour from Queenstown. I would just suggest that when it comes to Franz Josef, like you've just got to play it by ear in terms of like when you book it, because I mean in January it is busy, so it'd be good to like pre-book it a little bit, but it does definitely just depend on the weather, which can change in like a snap. Like it could look really good on Google weather, but literally it could just, yeah, it could be really bad. So I would say do it like a little bit last minute, or if when you're planning your South Island road trip, have a look at the weather, like try and pick like at least a few days when you're going to be in Franz Josef, so at least you have like a backup plan, or you could reroute yourself to stop off at different places. So instead of going through the west coast, we probably could have done with going through the middle, like through Haast Pass and down to Mount Cook, and then did a loop around. But to be honest, we still would have had to backtrack just because of how New Zealand works. Like, it's just one whole loop. You can't really like shortcut certain places. But yeah, that's my trip. But yeah, that's my tip. And yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of the video. This is like the second to last one of the installment for New Zealand. Yeah, the next one that I upload after this. Yeah, I've run out of footage now, so I hope we get out of COVID so I can film some more. But yeah, anyway, enjoy. Bye.
We're here in Franz Josef Glacier, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna drink the pure glacier water. Bye now, swipe up.
A few inches later.
As you guys all know, climate change is coming. And climate change is coming. In 10 years time, this is gonna be gone. Take that.